Mr. Zyman, would you be kind enough to read the mission statement?
I'd be happy to. I'd like you to know that I actually practiced today. Sooner or later, I was going to get to this. Yes, the Orange Elementary School District recognizes that the education of each child is the shared responsibility of every member of our community. Our goal is to inspire and empower each student to achieve academic excellence, embrace social and individual responsibility, and lead with integrity. We believe all individuals should be valued and treated with respect. Together, we will make a difference.
Thank you, Mr. Zyman. Any public participation? Very well. Consent agenda. I'm looking for a motion to accept the first item under the consent agenda. The minutes from the May 20th, 2024 Board of Education meeting. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes from the May 20th, 2024 Board of Education meeting? Susan, second. Betty, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? Very well. We will be moving on to the superintendent's report. Dr. Scarpetti.
Good evening, Mr. Crowell and the rest of the board members. I'd like to begin by wishing a happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers here and at home watching. As you're aware, the school year officially ended 2 Fridays ago for our students, and we'd like to extend our deepest gratitude to our staff and the entire Orange community for making another successful year. I can't thank the board members enough who've attended the kindergarten promotion ceremonies, pre-K, and sixth grade promotion ceremonies. We had an awesome day with the sixth grade promotion ceremonies. They were outside. We had a little challenge with the kindergarten, and so I want to thank for all the parents at the last moment where they received a certain amount of tickets because we weren't outside. But the whole staff at the kindergarten did a great job, the way they arranged the sound system and everything. So I just want to thank all of them. And before we even got to the last day of school, there were a lot of events going on besides the Memorial Day parade. But all of you, I think, know Mr. Ronay. We had the Olympics. Again, it was a beautiful day. Can't thank Mr. Ronay enough. You know, when I was thinking about Father's Day, you know, he happened to be a father of our students, and that's how we started. But it's been long gone since his kids have attended, and he continues to do that. So thanks to Mr. Ronay and Mrs. Ronay and the team that keeps on coming out every year that helps out, and the parents that help out that evening, too. In addition, I just want to acknowledge our teachers, too. Dr. Jalil, Mr. K, and Mrs. Garney. Those performances, or those exhibitions were great. They've actually did a few new exhibitions, and again, thanks to any of the board members that attended those evenings. And lastly, our performances at the Amity Middle School. What a great performance that they did. So thanks to Olden and Mrs. Patrick. In addition, as we got ready for the events or the promotion ceremonies, thanks has to go out to the police and park and rec departments. But as soon as schools end, we actually started our summer program, and in a moment, Dr. Russo will be giving us an update with regarding the summer programs and some professional learning going on. In addition to our summer programs, we have a few building projects that we are planning for the summer, which Mr. Gray will share in a moment. And lastly, we have a few personnel updates. The negotiations committee are currently negotiating with the owner-operators of buses, the administrative assistants, office aides, and paraprofessionals, custodians, and we'll begin with the teachers sometime in August. I'd like to thank Mr. Kraut, Mrs. Hallock, Mrs. Messina Mullen for all the time and efforts they have given and will continue to in the upcoming months. We will, of course, update the entire board once we settle those contracts. At the last board meeting, you may recall that we wish Christine Foster and Ellen Papa well wishes for their retirement. That opens some positions that need to be filled. So currently we have hired positions at first grade at Racebrook and Peck. We still have a second grade position at Racebrook, and we need to hire at Turkey Hill a fifth grade and kindergarten. And that ends my report, Mr. Kraut.
Any questions for Dr. Scarpetti? Betty?
I just wanted to extend my compliments again to the art teachers for the art shows, which were absolutely phenomenal. I enjoyed them and was so impressed to see so many families out there enjoying lemon ice out on the playground or ice cream in the front of the school, and the amount of wonderful art and the diversity of the art was just incredible. So congratulations to the staff and the students.
Thank you. Mr. Ziman, did you have something? No? Anyone else down here? And I just wanted to echo what Dr. Scarpetti said. Big thanks to Tatiana and Betty for all the time they are currently putting into the negotiations. I really appreciate it, as does the board, and I'm sure Dr. Scarpetti. Next, Mr. Gray.
Good evening, everyone. I'll begin with a overview of grants for the month of May. The majority of the spend in the month of May for grants was really attributed to the Innovative After School Grant, High Dosage Tutoring, and Primary Mental Health Grant, so I'll go over those rather than go through all 10. Currently, the Art Besser Innovative After School Grant, that is our $479,000 grant. We're down to $60,510 in that grant, so we're right on schedule to finish that grant up this summer and spend that down to zero. Our ARPA Online Abuse Prevention Grant, this is the grant that we were conducting in collaboration with the Orange Police Department. It was a $30,000 grant. To date, we've spent $13,000 of that grant. We were recently made aware from the state that they are suspending the grant. So we've emailed to ensure that we will be reimbursed for the amount we've already spent. They told us they will be relooking at that in October and letting us know what they'll do with the rest of the money, whether or not we'll be able to spend it or not. Our hope is that we will. But of course, we're going to get our reimbursement back for the money we've spent. The ARPA School Mental Health Specialist Grant, this is the grant that we received. It's a 3-year grant. It pays for the salary for hiring and maintaining a school mental health specialist. That grant was $92,505. That has been spent to zero for this year. It was 100% funding for a social worker. Next year will also be 100% funding. The third year will be 75%, and then after that, it will become part of our operating budget. Our Connecticut High Dosage Tutoring Grant, $152,000 grant. We've spent $46,404 so far. We have $109,796 remaining. This is for grade 6 enhancement of mathematics proficiency through high dosage tutoring. And finally, Primary Mental Health Grant. This is for K-3 early detection and prevention programs for emotional, behavioral, and learning problems. I believe most of this was used through family nights during the school year this year. We've spent $19,000 of that. There are $900 remaining in that grant, so we'll be spending that down as well. Under food services, pursuant to Public Act 23-204, the Connecticut State Budget, $16 million of Federal American Rescue Plan Act funds was allocated for free meals for students. You may recall last year, prior to January, to the Connecticut State Department of Education, and that was for school year 23-24. A portion of these funds was used by the state of Connecticut to provide lunch at zero cost for students who are eligible or qualified for free reduced meals in the National School Lunch Program. These funds are referred to as State Transition Assistance for Breakfast and Lunch Expenses, or STABLE funds. The state recently informed districts that they're going to continue the STABLE funds for the 24-25 school year. So any family that is eligible or qualified for reduced price meals in the National School Lunch Program are encouraged and reminded to submit an application to the Board of Education. They can find the free and reduced lunch application and other relevant materials on our website at oess.org. The auditors will be starting their work on the 23-24 audit for the 23-24 fiscal year, late June, early July. So they'll be starting that very soon, and we're getting our materials ready for them so they can hit the ground running, and they waste no time with that. Should I go on to facilities, Mr. Kraut?
Let me see if there are any questions. I know you just made Ms. Riggio very happy about the audit news. She looks forward to it every year.
We'd like to meet that deadline.
Ronette?
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Good, thank you. I was just wondering about the grant that's been suspended, the ARPA Online Abuse Prevention Grant. Are we still able to offer SOAR to our students without that grant? How does that affect the SOAR program?
It doesn't affect the SOAR. The SOAR is really the DARE program, and that's run by the police department, so there are no grant funds that are used in the SOAR program. What this grant was used for was to enhance the SOAR program. So we won't miss a beat with our SOAR program. It'll start back up in the fall.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, when you said enhance the SOAR program, what does that mean exactly?
So there were programs that were held throughout the year in collaboration. So there was an internet safety program that was held. There were a few family nights that were held. So it kind of aligned to what the SOAR program is.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that, because I was going to ask the same thing about the SOAR money. The math tutorial, is it determined that it will stay at grade 6? Is there, talk about looking at data and deciding it might be moved somewhere else, or does it specifically have to stay there?
So the grant is specifically for students in grades 6 through 9.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else for Mr. Gray? Okay, if you'd like to give your second report.
Sure. Under facilities, I just wanted to take a moment, like Dr. Scarpetti said, we had many events at the end of the school year. So I want to just recognize our custodial staff and our supervisor of maintenance and custodians for all their work during the last couple of weeks of school. We had many concerts, art shows, assemblies, our promotion ceremonies, for which there was quite a bit of setup, and then the breakdown afterward, moving chairs from one school to another. This was all done during the course of their daily routines during a very busy time of the year. So just wanted to give them a recognition for all of their work they did on top of their daily routines. I really appreciate everything they've done. And we've now moved on to our summer hours. We're 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., and we're following the same recipe for success that we've had in the past, with our custodians working as a team to complete summer cleaning protocols in each of our buildings. As Dr. Scarpetti said, we have a few projects happening this summer, one of which is the facilities condition assessment that we discussed earlier this year. I spoke with the architect the other day. They are going to be starting end of June, early July, with the school visits, the site visits, coming through and looking at every aspect of our buildings as a start for the process. We're also in the process of ordering our hands-free fixtures. That was one of the capital items we received from the town. So we're in the process of ordering those, getting them in. I wouldn't say it's a simple installation process, but it's a non-invasive process. So if we don't get them all in during the summer, it's something we can easily do at the start of the school year. It's not going to cause any issues. It won't close down any bathrooms. It doesn't take a full day to do. So we'll be able to continue those if we don't finish those by the end of the summer. And we're currently getting pricing for the bathroom updates over at Peck Place School, and hope to get that started in the summer. If not, we'll have to develop a plan to get that done during the school year. Again, there's a possibility of maybe shutting down a bathroom for a week to get that done. There are plenty of other bathrooms that could be used during the school year if we had to. So those are just some of the updates on the projects that we'll be doing. And that concludes my report.
Any questions for Mr. Gray? Thank you, Mr. Gray.
Thank you.
Moving on, Dr. Russo.
Good evening. As Dr. Scarpetti shared, we began summer learning summer learning linked to the innovative funds today. As a reminder, the sessions include power of play, art, health and wellness, and then summer fun challenges that are linked to interventions for students that need to ameliorate some learning gaps in reading and math, and then read alouds for K through 3 students and book clubs for students in grades 4 through 6. We did want to share and thank everyone for their patience with dismissal today. Because the student enrollment has significantly increased, it was a little challenging. So as I said, we appreciate everyone's patience. The team did meet at the end of the day to come up with an internal plan to try to address those challenges. So once again, we appreciate everyone's patience with that. Next, I'd like to share that our leadership team engaged in a very intensive curriculum storyboarding conference last week, and the purpose of that work is to streamline our curriculum and to make it clearer to all stakeholders. We will continue this work all summer and share it with our curriculum subcommittee as soon as it's done, or maybe just drafts at the next meeting as well. And then we will share that work with our staff at our welcome back and link our professional learning to that work. Finally, we continue to work on our teacher and administration evaluation plan. And that concludes my report for this evening.
Any questions for Dr. Russo? Betty?
I just want to say congratulations on the fact that there are so many more students this summer. That means the word got out, that what a wonderful program it is, and I want to salute you and the whole staff for making it so.
Thank you. The staff has been great. And we're so happy that it's free for parents.
Susan?
How many students did we have participate?
322.
Thank you.
So I was in the drop-off line this morning, and it wasn't terrible. It took me about 25 minutes, and that probably was because I had a question when I dropped off my stepdaughter. But pickup, you said they were trying to work out some glitches. Is there going to be a different system for tomorrow or going forward? Is that going to be communicated to parents? I know that it did take some families quite a while today.
We're making internal changes, which we don't have to communicate. So we think that these will help the line move quicker. So we don't have to share anything with parents.
Anyone else? Dr. Russo? No? Very good. Thank you, Dr. Russo. Mrs. Ito?
Good evening, everyone. Very brief report tonight. Our extended school year services for eligible children is scheduled between July 1st and August 1st. Staff have communicated schedules with families through email. Any family who believes they should have received notification regarding ESY but did not is encouraged to contact the Special Services Department. The Special Education Department seeks to fill one special education teaching position because one of our teachers transferred to a general education classroom within the district. In addition, 2 of our dedicated paraprofessionals retired after many years of service, and 1 para will be seeking a job as a teacher. So as a result, we have 3 paraprofessional positions to be filled. Interviews for these positions will be scheduled in July. Anyone interested in applying must do so through our district website, oess.org, in the employee section of our website. Thank you.
Any questions for Mrs. Ito?
Thank you, Mary. Can extended school year students take advantage of the summer programs as well as their individual plans?
Yes, they do. We have, some children are full program children for their extended school year, but even those children have an opportunity if their parents choose to have them enrolled in the Summer Innovative Grant Program. Children who receive just tutoring, they are scheduled to go into the Innovative Grant, and we would just pull the kids from that program to provide them with the services.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anyone else for Mrs. Ito? Oh, go ahead, Carm.
I think it's important that we recognize that the department is growing its own, and I compliment the staff for helping the evolution process to happen within the ranks. I think that's very important, even if we have to open it up for newcomers. But I think the
Absolutely.
fact that we are growing our own and they're moving within the district, it's a compliment to the staff. So I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Very good.
Oh, we know what Bill, wait a minute.
Pardon me?
I did have a question for Dr. Scarpetti, just because it didn't come up during your report, Dr. Scarpetti, but I'm wondering, what so far would you say is the impact of students from the Firelight apartments and the Smith Farm Road development?
It hasn't been much. The last time we checked, there's been 6 to 7 students. Sorry about that. It hasn't been much. It has been about 6 to 7 students. But even since then, we've heard some families have left because not meeting certain requirements, at least in Smith Farm. We'll see in our waiting what will be happening at the Firelight.
Okay, I mean, I've been looking at the numbers every time the numbers come out, and it doesn't look like there's much movement anywhere. And I think some of us were expecting some kind of an impact, at least already, even if it was a small impact. But, okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
And to that point, Mrs. Hallock, I know you've been a contributor and other people with the subcommittees in the Board of Finance about helping us with regards to being ready for that if any changes are happening. But right now, it hasn't been a big impact. We are waiting because Firelight opened shortly ago, and so we have to see what the impact of Firelight is. Now, I thought, Mrs. Hallock, you were going to ask a different question. What question I think you're going to ask?
I don't know.
Kindergarten enrollment.
Oh, kindergarten enrollment, yes. I guess I should have added that to my list. What's
So-
the current number?
We're at 123.
Oh, still, that hasn't increased very much
A little
either.
bit, but
Yeah. All
not
right.
much.
Well, all right, I know there's a whole summer to go.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Very well. Thank you. So we will move on to board business. First item under board business. In the past, the board has not met in July. Member schedules and not having a quorum, so we discussed it, and we have agreed that we will cancel the July 15th, 2024 Board of Education meeting with the understanding that we can always call a special meeting if need be, or an emergency meeting, which I wouldn't anticipate, but that can always be done. So in the meantime, if there are any concerns by board members or anyone else, please contact me or Dr. Scarpetti. And if we need to schedule a meeting, we will do so, but as of right now, the July meeting will not be taking place. All right? I know Susan's very disappointed in that.
I wasn't going to be here anyway. It's too close to my birthday, so that's why we're not having it.
That's, okay. That's right. All right, so we'll move on to policy second read. Orange Board of Ed Policy 4112.2, Personnel Certified Certification. I'm looking for a motion to accept Orange BOE Policy 4112.2, Personnel Certified Certification. Anthony, second. Mr. Zyman, any discussion on this policy? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? Policy second read, Orange Board of Education Policy 4118.22-4218.22, Personnel Code of Ethics Certified, Non-Certified. Do I have a motion to accept the Orange Policy 4118.22-4218.22, Personnel Code of Ethics Certified, Non-Certified? Do I have a motion? Ronette, second. Susan, any discussion on this policy? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? Very well. Orange Policy 4120, Personnel Certified Temporary Part-Time Personnel. Do I have a motion to accept the Orange Board of Ed Policy 4120, Personnel Certified Temporary Part-Time Personnel? Carm? Betty, second. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? Orange Board of Education Policy 5131.911, School Climate Do I have a motion to accept the Orange Board of Ed Policy 5131.911, school climate? Tatiana, second. Mr. Ziman, any discussion on this policy? Very well. All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? Orange Board of Ed Policy 5141.5, suicide prevention and intervention. Do I have a motion to accept the Orange Board of Education Policy 5141.5, suicide prevention and intervention? Susan, second. Mr. Ziman, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? Very good. I will be looking for us to, a motion to enter into executive session to discuss the next agenda item, the standing committees, after the standing committees and ACES each give their reports. That agenda item is superintendent's evaluation. So we'll move on to standing committees. Ms. Riccio, Finance and Operations.
The Finance and Operations Subcommittee met prior to this meeting. All financials are in order. We're doing very well. Thank you to Mr. Gray and the entire team. He gave a pretty thorough update. I don't think I have anything else.
Are there any questions for Ms. Riccio? Very well, thank you. Personnel Policy and Transportation. Quick question, Mrs. Hadlock. Is it true that the Red Sox stole 9 bases on the Yankees last night?
Yes, it was terribly exciting and a record.
Yes, I can't
Not since
believe-
1915 have the Yankees given up so many stolen bases.
I know, the mighty Yankees, I just can't believe it. All right, you can proceed.
Doing this year, the Red
Would you- Don't worry about it, Mr. Ziman. We're going to skip your report this evening. You may proceed, Mrs. Haddock.
The Policy, Personnel and Transportation Committee has not met since the last board meeting. We will meet again before the next board meeting during this summer, and I will let all members of the committee know that in advance.
Any questions for Mrs. Hadlock? Very good. Buildings and Grounds, Mr. Cap?
We did not meet as well over the last month, but we will be scheduling a meeting before the end of August meeting, so I should have a report then.
Any questions for Mr. Cap? Mr. Ziman, I will let you speak.
Thank you. We did not have a meeting, and we will be having a meeting before our next board meeting, which is a while. I did want to mention that at the Moving On ceremony at Racebrook, I mentioned to Dr. Russo how she's going to be able to relax and take it easy for a while. And as punishment, she brought me inside to show me what was going on with the summer program. And I just want to compliment her and her team on the work and organization that's involved in getting this this summer program going, and how wonderful I think it's going to be.
Any questions for Mr. Ziman? Very good, thank you. Susan, ACES?
ACES met June 6th. We had a relatively long meeting. Finally approved all of our last budgets, and we are operating at a significant surplus this year. We, like Amity, do not have a town to back us up, so we have to always make sure that we have a cushion just in case. So everything at ACES is going well. Lots of construction going on this summer for them.
Any questions for Ms. Riccio? Very good, all right. Sorry?
Is that a motion?
Oh, yeah, I'm getting to it. So I'm going to be looking for a motion to enter into executive session. Dr. Scarpetti, will you be joining us?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Scarpetti will be joining us, so do I have a motion to enter into executive session?
Yes.
Susan, second. Mr. Ziman? Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? We are now in executive session at 7:34. All right, we are back and out of executive session at 7:59. I will be looking for a motion based on the board's positive review of Superintendent Dr. Vince Scarpetti. I am looking for a motion to modify terms and extend Dr. Scarpetti's contract for 1 additional year with the modifications completed by the executive board. Do I have a motion? Betty, second?
Me.
Anthony? Any discussion? All in favor? You got that, Sue?
Yep.
Opposed? Abstain? Very well. I am looking for a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting. Susan? Mr.
Yes.
Ziman, second?
Wait, before we adjourn, I have some comments first.
Oh,
I want to thank Dr. Scarpetti for doing a great job and for continuing to be our superintendent. So, welcome back.
Thank you, everyone. It means a great deal to be serving you and all the entire community, not only our family and students, but the entire community. And thank you for allowing me to continue to be your superintendent.
Motion to adjourn.
Susan, motion. Mr. Ziman, second. All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? We are adjourned at 8 o'clock. Thank you.